your picture because I was so scared.
So that was early at your career.
That was early.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it's better than, 10 years later.
Yes.
I mean.
Yes, definitely.
So that was a big mistake that you learned from.
Mm-hmm. It was a big thing. That's huge.
Sure.
That's huge.
Because you actually adapt your business model to the need, to the reality.
Yes.
Because you don't want it to be in that, that...
You don't want to get caught up in the
that
system.
mess in the system and the people trying to get out with you and all that stuff. So you have to come up with some alternative. And that's when you actually design your current business model, which is expand marketing, branding, a nice face, nice figure, clean, angelical look that you have in all the billboards and all that. And that's actually very smart. Did you get to that positioning? Because branding is very critical, you might know. Did you get to that branding concept eventually and gradually, or was like, this is the way that we're going to have it, or you are very unhappy about your first, let's say, flyers or billboards?
I grew with it. I'm someone who loves to learn. I'm someone who is open. My door, and I tell my employees and everyone who works with me, my door is always open. I don't think that I have the best ideas. I don't think I have it all figured out. And I'm always open to learn from everyone, even from the person who sweeps the floors. So for me, learning and learning from everyone is so important. And that has helped me to be able to be, figuring things out as I go. But I am someone who's very, very hands-on. Even now, is 30 years later, I'm still there. And I created the whole system. My company is the model of many other, people that follow my steps.
Right.
And I created that system. Yes, I did learn when I worked in that insurance office years ago, but I only learned how to sell. Everything else, I had to develop systems according to the needs, according to when a problem would come. I had the ability to see the problems coming early, fast. Like I would see something and I start thinking, what else could this turn into? What else can I prevent? I'm someone who sees potential. And that's another key to my success. So I see potential. So if I see that X thing worked, I'm not going to just stop there. I want to see what else is in there. So I want to dig and I want to find out and I want to learn and, look into it. So even now that things have changed, the way that people buy products and services have changed.
Right. Dramatically.
Yes. And I had to adapt. And I tell the people that work with me, I can't just be stuck on my ways. Be like, well, no, we have to continue to pass out flyers, which we do. We still have a presence in the community because there's still people that like to, buy that way. But there is a transition. There is a whole new world for digital marketing that I knew nothing about, and I had to learn. And I had to learn starting from my kids. I went to school. I took courses. I'm doing whatever it takes to reinvent myself.
To adapt.
And to adapt. Because if you don't adapt, and if you're not flexible, if you're not open to learn, if you get stuck in your ways, if you get in your head, you're dead. You're basically, you can't see any more resources because you think everything has to be your way.
Right.
And your way only works up until, a certain point, but you have to be open, always.
Right. I have to commend you on something because you were saying that your doors are always open, your office, and you learn from anybody, including the person that sweeps the floor, which is great. But I have to tell you that when you have that attitude, it tells a lot about who you really are as a person. Because, with all the success that you have, being all over the city, you are very famous, and still you have your door of your office open and the door of your mind open and your heart open. that tells that you really have deep roots, and you are, as a human being, you have the qualities that you need to actual growth and success. And I always appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's very important. Did you ever dream that you could get to a place where you are at this point?
No.
It's beyond your dreams, your imagination.
People tell me that all the time. And I want to stay humble. I want to be open. Adriana's Insurance, it's a place where you can buy insurance. Adriana Gallardo, that image on those billboards, on those buses, it's a woman. It's a Latino woman, it's a human being like everyone else. An emotional person who cries, who has problems, who is a mother, has kids, has dreams. And I have dreams, and, I have new projects. And so I don't really see myself as people see me, and it's not that I don't feel good enough, because I know I am good enough, but it's more like people tell me that all the time, like, but you are so famous and you should have all, you shouldn't be working. You should just go to the Bahamas. And but I enjoy working, and I love the contact with the people. And I want to continue to do that, because for me, if I'm not doing that, I feel like I'm dying.
Interesting. How many branches you have today?
Oh my gosh. Over 50.
Over 50? How many employees?
Over 500.
That's to give us a dimension of where you are at this point, plus social media and all that. I mean, you are expanding to that universe. You don't need too many branches more, because people get in and acquire your service through, through e-commerce. Now, I got a question, generic question. Mm-hmm. In your view, what's more important, having a mentor or being resilient in your will to achieve your goals?
I think it's more important to have a good attitude. Having a good attitude. Of course, having a mentor is great, but you also run the risk that your mentor is going to kind of put you in a box.
Right.
So when you have a good attitude and you have always a smile on your face, doors open, and then you have many other resources.
So you think that attitude is the key to success?
Yeah, it's a huge key.
What about learning, going to, let's say, business school or reading books?
It comes with an attitude. It all starts with an attitude.
Disposition.
With a state of mind. If you think you know it all, you're not going to go and learn anything else. If you think you're better than anyone else, you're not open to learn from someone that could teach you a thing or two.
Did you think, or do you think that being successful in business, in your case, is a matter of luck, or is a matter of effort and persistence?
It's a matter of a blessing, effort, persistence, and being brave. And being brave, ser valiente, doesn't mean that you're not afraid. It just means that you take the fear with you and you use it to your advantage. That's being brave. Brave doesn't mean that you're not afraid. You could be super scared and still have faith in God, because I believe that if God gave us the power to dream, the ability to dream, because He created us, then He's also giving us the ability to become what we're dreaming. But it's a lot of times we get in the way of those things. We are the only person that's getting in the way of the life that we want to create. Our fears, our egos, that's what's holding us back.
Right. I always say we place stop signs in our brain, and and we say we stop. Well, there is no stop sign really. It's just our brain working out those fears. Our alter ego that says, no, don't do it, because we always like to be comfortable. We don't like to discover new stuff. We don't like the challenge of having to walk into some place, talk to people that we know. Everything of that is uncomfortable because you like to be in your couch watching TV with your pet, and that's comfortable life. But regularly, that doesn't going to take you to where you have to go. Mm-hmm. And I see that in you. Because I see you, with a beautiful smile in the billboards and the buses and whatever. But I see that you really had to fight for what you have. A lot of struggle. The blessing of having your mom as your inspiration. But it wasn't easy. I can't imagine that your path to success was a walk to the park. Of course not, correct? No. It was very difficult. So the people sometimes, and this is a conversation between you and me, sometimes we don't put the right valuation when we see someone that is very successful and we say, oh my God, look at her. Oh, we don't put that value and underestimate all the effort, suffering that you had to put on your way to success, correct?
Yes, and this is something I tell people, no se dejen engañar. Don't let them fool you. Dice, ser dueño de tu propio negocio no siempre es tan fácil como lo pintan. Nadie habla de los sacrificios, de las lágrimas, del dolor, la ansiedad y ganas de salir corriendo. Así que piénsalo, decídete y prepárate. And people don't talk about those things. There's a lot of people out there on platforms and digital media talking about success and money and all these great things, and they're just inviting people to think big. But I think it's important to have responsibility also, and tell those people that it takes a lot of sacrifice. Right. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of nights going back home empty-handed. I had to close my doors many times and turn off the lights and go home, and because there was no sales. My mom, many times, in the beginning, her job was to, play La Llorona with the Edison company and the phone company. And she would call and say, hey, can you please give me a chance to make my payment? I would see her. I would see her talking to these people to kind of get a payment plan or something, because we couldn't afford the electricity bill or those things. And nobody talks about those things. People need to talk about things that are more real, that people connect to. Because otherwise you feel like a failure when you go through those things. And then you see other people being successful and you think, I'm not good enough. Something's wrong with me. Right. And it's just, it's part of the journey.
What's failure for you?
Failure is an opportunity to learn. Failure it doesn't mean no, it means not yet. There's something missing. So be thankful for failure. Don't be afraid of it. Be thankful.
What the word money means for you?
Money.
What's money for you?
Money gives me resources to complete my dreams, to help the community, to help me with other projects. I have a nonprofit, and I have a lot of projects where I help people. Right. I hire people with no experience at all, even nowadays. Because
you are probably replicating your case at the beginning.
Exactly. I'm doing exactly what my mom did with me. And money allows me to do those things. Also, money allows me to buy nice things and provide for my family. And that gives me a satisfaction, a sense of fulfillment, a sense of importance. And, there's nothing wrong with wanting money or liking money. Is what money does to you or what it makes you do.
Right. Is there a habit you have that you consider fundamental in your personal growth and that it helps you to deal with the pressure of daily life?
Fernando, gracias por preguntármelo. Thank you for asking that. What I have is I don't blame anybody for my problems. I don't blame the circumstances. I always look within myself. What did I do wrong? What can I do better? What can I learn from this? And you know why? Because I cannot control the circumstances. I cannot control what other people do. People are people, and we're going to make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes still nowadays. So if I waste my time trying to find who to blame for my failure or for my mistake,